Dear students, in this lecture, I'm going to discuss various contemporary challenges for pacific settlement of disputes. Dear students, contemporary challenges to a pacific settlement, which means the resolution of disputes through peaceful means, are shaped by a range of emerging threats and geopolitical complexities. These challenges pose significant problems to achieve sustainable peace and stability, both at regional and global levels. Some of the key contemporary challenges are I have divided these key challenges into a few categories. Then I have further divided these categories into subcategories. First, let's have a look at emerging security threats. In this emerging security threats, I have included three security threats: cybersecurity, terrorism, and hybrid wars. Dear students, the increasing dependence on digital technology has increased the risk of cyber attacks. So these cyber attacks has a potential to disrupt critical infrastructure. It has a potential to undermine trust between states and therefore can escalate tensions between or among states. Another emerging threat is terrorism and extremism. These terrorist organizations, these extremist organizations also pose a threat to peace and security by resorting to violence, by destabilizing governments, and by inciting fear and insecurity among population. The third emerging security threat is hybrid war. This hybrid war has ended differences between conventional and unconventional tactics in conflict, including disinformation campaigns, proxy warfare, and covert operations. So, these things have complicated efforts to resolve disputes and maintain peace and security. Another broad category of these contemporary challenges to pacific settlement of disputes is geopolitical rivalries. In these geopolitical rivalries, I have discussed two things: great power competition, regional power dynamics. Dear students, geopolitical rivalries between major powers, between great powers, for example, United States, China, and Russia. This competition between United States, China, and Russia has increased regional tensions. This great power competition has also increased the risk of conflicts, particularly in strategic areas such as the Indo-Pacific region in present situation. Regional power dynamics means competing interests and alliances among regional powers, such as Iran and Saudi Arabia in the Middle East, or India and Pakistan in South Asia. This regional power dynamics also contribute to regional instability and therefore prevent Pacific settlement efforts. Another broad category of these challenges is resource scarcity and environmental challenges. In this category, first is climate change, then water scarcity. Environmental degradation and the impacts of climate change, including rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and resource scarcity. These things have increased competition over natural resources. So, this competition over natural resources has a potential to contribute to conflict risks, particularly in the vulnerable regions. Disputes over access to water resources, also accelerated by the climate change and population growth, pose a significant challenge to Pacific settlement efforts, particularly in regions which are prone to drought and water stress, water scarcity. Ethnic and religious tensions. Their students' ethnic and religious tensions, fueled by identity based grievances, historical animosities, and exclusionary policies, also contribute to conflicts and impair efforts to achieve reconciliation, to achieve Pacific settlement of issues. Minority rights means discrimination and marginalization of minority groups, along with political repression and human rights abuses, also increase social divisions, therefore increase the risk of violence and instability. Another broad category of these challenges is technological advancements. Weapon proliferation, disinformation, and propaganda. The proliferation of advanced weapons technology, including ballistic missiles, drones, and automatic weapon systems, also raised the stakes in conflict and increased the potential for escalation. The spread of disinformation and propaganda through social media and digital platforms can manipulate public opinion, can increase tensions, can undermine trust between states, therefore, making Pacific settlement of issues more challenging. Dear students, addressing these contemporary challenges which Pacific settlement of dispute is facing requires concerted efforts from the international community, including diplomatic engagement, conflict prevention measures, and multilateral cooperation. By addressing the root causes of conflict, promoting dialogue and reconciliation, and strengthening institutions for peace building and conflict resolution, stakeholders can work towards achieving sustainable peace and stability in an increasingly complex and interconnected world. Dear students, now we are going to discuss various reforms to the UN Charter for the Pacific settlement of disputes. Dear students, exploring potential reforms to the UN Charter for Pacific settlement involves considering ways to strengthen existing mechanisms, involves to address contemporary challenges in conflict resolution. Some of the potential reforms and enhancements are strengthening conflict prevention. Means there is a need to enhance early warning systems. Means to improve the UN's capacity to monitor and analyze conflict dynamics, including emerging threats such as cybersecurity, climate related tensions. So, there is also the need to empower the Secretary General and other relevant UN bodies to engage in proactive diplomacy to prevent conflicts from escalating, including through high level mediation. There is also need to invest in training and equipping UN mediators, with the necessary skills, resources, and support to facilitate dialogue and negotiate peace agreements effectively. There is also need to strengthen the UN's capacity to deploy and manage peacekeeping missions, including by enhancing troop readiness, mandate clarity, and support for political process. Promoting inclusivity and participation. It means there is a need to enhance the involvement of women, to increase the involvement of youth and other marginalized groups in peace process and decision making. In line with the principles of Women, Peace and Security Agenda and the Youth Peace and Security Agenda, there's a need to support civil society engagement. Means there's a need to promote partnerships with non-governmental organizations, grassroots organizations, and community leaders to promote inclusive dialogue and grassroots peace building efforts. To make UN effective for pacific settlement of disputes, there is also need to address the structural inequalities and root causes. Means there's a need to address structural inequalities, grievances, and injustices, including socio-economic disparities, political exclusion, and human rights abuses, to prevent the recurrence of conflicts. There is a need to integrate conflict prevention and peace building considerations into development policies and programs to address the root causes of conflict and promote long term peace and stability. Dear students, there is also need to explore ways to enhance accountability of parties to peace agreements and ensure compliance with international law, including through targeted sanctions, arms embargoes, and a referral to the International Criminal Court for serious violations. So there's a need to provide support for transitional justice processes, including truth commissions and accountability mechanisms to address past atrocities and promote reconciliation in post-conflict societies. Promote multilateral cooperation. Means there's a need to strengthen multilateralism. There's a need to reinforce the commitment to multilateral cooperation and collective action to address global challenges, including conflict prevention, peace building, and humanitarian crises. There's a need to enhance partnerships, means to promote collaboration with regional organizations, with non-state actors and other stakeholders to leverage complementary strengths and resources in conflict resolution efforts. There is also the need to harness technological innovation, means to utilize technology for peace, explore the potential of emerging technologies such as data analytics, artificial intelligence, and digital platforms to support conflict prevention, to support mediation and peace building efforts. There's also need to address digital divides, means ensure equitable access to technology and bridge digital divides to prevent the increasing level of inequalities and marginalization in conflict affected areas. So, dear students, these potential reforms and enhancements to the UN Charter for Pacific settlement aim to strengthen the effectiveness, inclusivity, and adaptability of the UN's conflict resolution mechanisms in addressing contemporary challenges and advancing the goal of sustainable peace and security. Dear students, now we are going to discuss the role of regional organizations in dispute resolution. In light of the challenges and reforms which we have discussed for the UN, it's crucial to know the role of regional organizations in global efforts for peaceful resolution of conflicts. While United Nations plays a central role in international peace and security, regional organizations are also very helpful to understand local dynamics, to understand the local dynamics of the conflict. And these organizations can also provide an effective responses to conflicts in their respective regions. For instance, the African Union. Dear students, African Union plays a central role in addressing conflicts, in promoting peace and security in Africa. Through its Peace and Security Council, mediation efforts, and peacekeeping missions, such as the African Union Mission in Somalia and the African Standby Force. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, also promotes dialogue, cooperation, and conflict resolution among its member states through its mechanisms such as ASEAN Regional Forum, ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights. So these mechanisms of ASEAN also contribute to peace and stability in the Southeast Asian regions. The Organization of American States also works to prevent conflict and resolve disputes among its member states in the America through diplomatic initiatives, mediation efforts, and conflict resolution mechanisms, such as the Inter American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance and the Inter American Commission on Human Rights. By harnessing the expertise and resources of regional organizations, the international community can strengthen multilateral cooperation and can enhance the effectiveness of conflict resolution efforts. Collaborative approaches that leverage both global and regional capacities can better address the complex interconnected nature of contemporary conflicts. Furthermore, it is very essential to recognize the importance of cultural sensitivity and context specific approaches in conflict resolution. Diversity within and between societies demands effective strategies that respect local customs, traditions, and values. Indigenous knowledge systems, community based reconciliation processes, and traditional conflict resolution mechanisms have proven to be valuable tools in maintaining sustainable peace. Moreover, empowering women and youth as agents of peace is not only a matter of inclusivity but also a strategic imperative. Women and youth often bear the brunt of conflict, yet possess unique perspectives and capacities to contribute to peace building efforts. So, investing in their leadership, participation, and empowerment can strengthen the fabric of societies and enhance the prospects for lasting peace. So, dear students, in conclusion, we can say while the challenges to peaceful conflict resolution are formidable, they are not insurmountable. By embracing holistic approach that integrates global and regional efforts, that respects cultural diversity and prioritizes inclusive participation, the international community can navigate the complexities of the changing global landscape and advance the cause of peace and security for all. Dear students, now we are going to discuss the future of peaceful conflict resolution in the changing global order. The future of peaceful conflict resolution in a rapidly changing global landscape presents both challenges as well as opportunities. As the world is becoming day by day more increasingly interconnected, diverse, and complex, traditional approaches to conflict resolution must evolve to address emerging threats and dynamics. Some reflections on the future of peaceful conflict resolution are like adaptability and innovation. The rapid pace of change requires conflict resolution mechanisms to be adaptive, to be innovative. Therefore, using new technologies, data analytics, and interdisciplinary approach to anticipate and respond to evolving conflict dynamics. Inclusive and participatory approaches to conflict resolution are also essential for addressing diverse perspectives, for addressing diverse identities and interests, particularly in multi ethnic, multi religious, and multicultural societies. Meaningful engagement of women, youth, indigenous communities, and marginalized groups is very crucial for sustaining peace. Investing in conflict prevention and resilience building measures is also crucial for mitigating the drivers of conflict, including like poverty, inequality, political exclusion, and environmental degradation. Early warning systems, preventive diplomacy, and sustainable development initiatives can help to prevent conflicts from escalating. They are students addressing global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, transnational threats require enhanced multilateral cooperation and collective action. Therefore, there's a need to strengthen international institutional norms and partnerships, which is very essential for promoting collaboration and solidarity in conflict resolution efforts. Their students upholding human rights, justice, and accountability is fundamental for building trust, for promoting reconciliation, for addressing grievances in post conflict societies. Transitional justice mechanisms, rule of law reforms, and support for civil society play a crucial role in promoting long term peace and stability. Moving beyond mere cessation of hostilities, conflict resolution efforts should focus on addressing underlying root causes, transforming relationships, and building sustainable peace, investing in peace building initiatives, social cohesion, and reconciliation processes. These are very essential for building inclusive societies. Their students' ethical leadership and diplomacy are also essential for navigating complex conflicts and promoting dialogue, cooperation, and trust building among conflicting parties. Diplomats, mediators must uphold principles of neutrality, impartiality, and integrity while facilitating peace agreement. Global solidarity and empathy. Promoting a sense of global solidarity, empathy, and interconnectedness is also crucial for transcending divisions, promoting understanding and building bridges across cultures and borders. People to people exchanges, cultural diplomacy, and interfaith dialogues can contribute to promote a culture of peace and cooperation. So, in conclusion, we can say the future of peaceful conflict resolution requires a holistic, inclusive, and forward looking approach that addresses the root causes of conflict, that promotes dialogue and reconciliation, that promotes collaboration across sectors and stakeholders. By embracing innovation, inclusivity, and solidarity, the international community can advance the shared goal of building a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world for future generations. So, dear students, in today's lecture, we have seen that peaceful resolution of conflicts faces many challenges in contemporary period. To address these contemporary challenges, there is a need of a multifaceted approach that integrates global and regional efforts, that respects cultural diversity, that prioritizes inclusive participation. By addressing emerging security threats, geopolitical rivalries, environmental challenges, and technological advancements, the international community can navigate the complexities of conflict resolution. Strengthening the UN Charter's framework, harnessing the expertise of regional organizations, and embracing innovative strategies for future are essential steps towards achieving sustainable peace and security for all. Through ethical leadership, multilateral cooperation, and a commitment to justice and inclusivity, we can build a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world for our future generations. Thank you.